Welcome to tonight's presentation of the Pro Basketball Association. If you want pro, you want the PBA.
Welcome into the PBA Game of the Week, game number 2. It's between the West Tennessee Heat and the Montgomery Knights. I'm Gary Ade, he's Paul McKeskey, and we are here talking Heat and Knight basketball. Paul, this is the second time this year we've had the privilege of calling the Knights. This is a very interesting team with a lot of stability, very much the same roster as we saw a few weeks ago. This is our first look at the Heat. What are your initial thoughts as you look through these two teams?
Well, that's a great point, Gary. The stability in this level of basketball is very difficult to keep because players come in and come out. And the fact that the Knights have done that is an advantage to them. And we know two of their main players, David McKinney and Javon Washington Thomas, are the two guys they're going to look at to score. They seem to be a little undersized, but they get fight through that with having energy, effort, and everybody knows their role on this team.
Now, when you look at a team like Montgomery, again, one thing we talked about the stability, but then let's talk about the talent. A couple of guys on this team that are fairly good. One guy that I remember from our previous game is number 14, David McKinney. Talk about his game and how if you were coaching against him, you would attack his offense, as he's a key to this Knights attack.
David McKinney has a good all-around game, but he really is a very good shooter. So if I'm the other coach, I'm going to make him put the ball on the floor, not just stand there and shoot open threes that we know he can make, and see if he can create going to the basket and be able to finish and or create for someone else. We're going to take him out of his comfort zone and make him do what he doesn't like to do at all times.
Easier said than done. You look at it. You look at a team on the other side with the Heat. New to us, we've not seen them yet, but they do have some guys that come in with a little bit of history, as they will. Devin Pitts is one guy that you look at, and he's had Tennessee guy, born and raised, Dyer High School. He's had some success at the collegiate level. If you're Montgomery, what are you doing to key in on this Heat team?
Well, they have a pretty well-rounded team, but their focus is on Devin Pitts and Ty Bryant. And as far as Devin Pitts is concerned, he is more of a scorer, and by that I mean, he can shoot the outside shot, he can finish in the paint, he can create going to the basket. So he's more of a scorer. He's a handful. Ty Bryant is more of a shooter. He can shoot the three from deep. So you got to really keep the pressure on him, keep a hand in his face. So two different challenges for two of their key players.
It'll be interesting to watch, no question about it. We got a couple of minutes left before the opening tip. This is a chance to remind everyone that the PBA Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Wilson Sporting Goods, the official game ball of the PBA, and also Got That Works Films. They do a great job with art, with many artists and many performers, and we're happy to have them on board as a league sponsor as well. Again, it's the West Tennessee Heat taking on the Montgomery Knights tonight. And one thing, too, Paul, that I think is interesting to remember about Montgomery is, as a team, they're very much, we mentioned the stability, but they're also very balanced. They have a mix of size and wing players, and you don't always see that at this level. A lot of teams, because often they are pulling people only from their region, a lot of their talent is dependent on the talent level of wherever their team happens to be located. Whether that's the case or not for Montgomery, I'm not sure, but I know one thing: they have all of the mix you would want in a basketball team.
Yeah, they have inside, outside. They have, along with Washington Thomas and McKinney, they have Keith Butler, who can score, very good all-around player. Jatavius Robinson, who can also score and can create for himself. So they have a lot of different weapons they can go to. And like we said at the beginning of the show, they know their roles, they accept their roles, and they know how to play together.
That's an important thing at every level, but especially this level, because really everyone's going for the same thing, which is to get to a higher level. So it's similar to minor league baseball in the sense that pretty much winning and losing the game in minor league baseball is often viewed as secondary, both organizationally and among individual players. But you want to, if you're a scout at a higher level of competition, whether it's basketball or baseball, you want to see guys who are able and willing to put team and collective ahead of individual. And you like to see that at this level, especially because it really is something that people are looking for.
Yeah, scouts from other leagues and higher levels are looking for players that, number one, are winners because they're part of a winning program. They know how to win. And number two, and I always say, people talk about players not knowing their roles, but what I've found in my 20 plus years of coaching is players absolutely know their roles. They just don't accept them. So to get players to accept their roles is something different. If you're not a shooter, don't shoot, drive to the basket. And if you're not a good ball handler, don't try to create. Just do what you do, what your strength is. And that's what scouts are looking for. If they're looking for a point guard, they want somebody that can handle the ball, handle pressure, get in the paint, use a pick and roll, all that stuff. If they're looking at a rim protector, they're looking at a big that runs the floor, can move his feet on pick and roll coverage, can protect the rim with his athleticism. If they're looking for a scorer that can go to the basket, you need to show them that. Or if some teams, high-level teams, are looking for a guy that can just knock down threes consistently. And that means not 2 out of 6. That means 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Paul, we'll have the opening tip. It is the PBA Game of the Week. West Tennessee Heat taking on the Montgomery Knights. Back after this with the opening tip on PBA TV.
Hi, I'm Ben, and I'm with Wilson Basketball. Today we're going to talk about the Wilson Evolution. The Evolution is the #1 selling basketball in the country, and for good reason. The first thing anybody will tell you is how good the Evolution feels. Most people can't describe it, but it's the microfiber cover that provides that great grip and that soft feel that everybody refers to. The channels share a similar texture and material as the rest of the ball, which adds to the control and that feel that everyone's talking about. The cushion core offers a softer touch around the rim. What that means is that the ball will stay on the rim a little bit longer, allowing you the opportunity to make more shots. The Evolution comes in 6 different colors, so you can match to your jersey or your own personal style. If you're looking for a game ball with soft feel that players swear by, check out the Evolution by Wilson.
Alrighty, we're back here on PBA TV. This is Paul McKeskey. I'm Gary Ade, and we have the opening tip of the West Tennessee Heat and the Montgomery Knights coming up momentarily. You see one team is on the court. That is the Knights. And Paul, the Heat still near their bench getting final instruction. What's your game plan if you're coaching the Heat tonight?
I know that the Knights are a well-rounded team. I want to put pressure on defensively. I want to rebound and push the ball a little bit. I want to play our game, and I'm sure that's what the coach was saying in his last instructions. As a coach, you want to put something in the mind of your team as they go out there that they're going to focus on. It might be push the tempo. It might be get back in transition, whatever that might be, and I'm sure that's what he was telling me.
It will be Jatavius Robinson jumping against Norman for the Heat. And Robinson flicks it to the scorer's table. They're not playing, so I don't think that will count.
No, it's a good hands by the red shirt, the guy in the red shirt at the scorer's table, but
Sign him
he's
up.
not in play.
No.
He's not in play.
He's a red shirt freshman.
Yeah, there you go.
A long 3 is good, and Norman gets the scoring started today with the 3 for the Heat.
And that's what we talked about. You got to put pressure on the shooters that can shoot deep, and they're going to have to deal with that the rest of the game.
Pump fake. Down into the box. Spinning move by Robinson. Leaves it short. Corralled by Norman. And here come the Heat. Crossover dribble behind the back. Back to the left. Stepping back out. Now resetting into the lane. Kicks it out. Three is up. Long to the right. Rebounded by Norman. Reverse is good.
Yeah, good offensive rebound. Pretty long shot there. I'm maybe watching a little Steph Curry a little bit too much. I think we can get closer for that shot.
That's right. Dribble, drive around the right side and into the lane. Nice move. The Knights are on the board.
And that's what scouts want to see. They ran the horn set too high, and he turned the corner and made a great play.
What a backdoor cut. Nice pass. And a foul at the rim. That was the only play for Robinson, as that was an absolutely perfectly executed backdoor cut by Coleman, who will head to the line for two.
Interesting. The Montgomery Knights were the undersized team on our last game, and now they have more size than the Heat have, and the Heat are playing a 5-out offense. There's no post player inside, which will leave the court open for drives, and like we just saw, a great backdoor action right there.
That was an absolutely beautiful backdoor cut. There's no question about it. Coleman makes the first.
And a lot of players don't realize that that's a weapon. That backdoor keeps the pressure, defensive pressure off your team.
Second one is off the front of the iron. Founded by the Knights. Good drive into the lane, leaves it long. Offensive follow-up is no good. Rebounded by the Heat. Back the other way comes Tennessee. Into the corner, three is up, and it is good. Nice offense from the Heat.
Yeah, the Heat are showing their range on the three-point line, and Montgomery Knights are going to have to realize that and put some pressure on it.
Short jumper is well long. Rough shot from Brown. And then after a near turnover, here come the Heat. Pump fake. Stepping out to reset and then fires the long jumper. Long rebound is corralled by Coleman. Hands to the corner. That three is no good. Rebounded by Montgomery.
And we see the Heat are comfortable shooting long threes.
Just a little bit. And a long rebound is chased down. Coming back the other way, a 3-on-2. Kicked into the corner. Nice defense recovering by Montgomery. Up to the top of the circle. Step in for about an 18-footer. Goes long off the backboard. Out of bounds.
Yeah, and if I'm the Montgomery Knights coach, I'm reminding my players they're going to shoot a lot of long threes, and long threes create long rebounds. So we need our guards and wings to stay in the rebound on the defensive end.
Nice screen and roll. Nice pick and roll. Into the lane. No good. Can't make the finish. That's a tough miss from Montgomery. Here come the Heat the other way. Outside. Into the corner. Pump fake. Down to the free throw line. Loses the dribble. Kicks it into the near side wing. Driving baseline. Stepping back. Three is up. And good. What a shot. Devin Pitts.
Little step back action there. Nice shot.
And the Heat have burst out to an 11-2 advantage in the first 3 minutes of competition. Montgomery trying to answer. Into the lane. Euro step is good. Do they count it? Or was it before the shot? Let's see. Looks like it will be before the shot, so no basket. Montgomery will inbounds to the left of their basket. Gets it in. Three is up. It is no good, but a whistle. A miss off the back rim by McKinney. It looks like he'll be shooting three.
The discussion by the referees to see exactly what they got there.
And there's one thing I've been very impressed with all season, Paul, is I think the referees have done a very good job of communication. I feel like they're always on point with that. They don't leave anything to chance.
Yeah, I agree. And just like when you have a team, communication is key on offense, defense, and from the coach to the players. It's just as important for the referees. You have referees out there. You have different angles. You want to make sure you get the call right. So if there's nothing wrong with stopping play, going to talk to one of your partners, say, did you see what I just saw? something different. The key for that is just do your best to get it right. Being a referee is a very difficult job.
No question.
But if you continue to try and get it right and do the best you can, players and coaches will have no problem with it.
No question about it. And you're right about that. Communication is so important, Paul. And it's one of those things that as a ref, you have to just accept most cases that you did the best you could, because as I always say, you're 50% wrong 100% of the time.
Yeah, after the game, the referees always have some people mad at you.
That's it.
when you're a team and you win the game, you're not later, but
that's it.
Mad at you if you're a referee.
That's it. Oh man! All right, so we got the free throws coming up for McKinney, and one thing we've noticed out of the gate, Paul, is number 2 for the Montgomery Knights, Washington Thomas, has been handling most of the point guard duties, as the first free throw was good.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job of it. They're really getting into their sets, getting good action. They just missed some easy shots, quite frankly, and you got to think that they're going to fall later in the game.
So far, 2 of 2 from McKinney. Make it 3 of 3. Perfect form at the line, and it's a 6-point game. Here comes Tennessee. The lane, kick out, curl around. Long 3 is up. Short, offensive rebound. That one is up from the foul line, no good. Rebounded by Montgomery.
Again, another long rebound off that 3 and an offensive rebound.
Washington Thomas loses his footing, gets it to a teammate. Now cross court into the lane, up and under is no good. Poked out and recovered by Montgomery, leads to an 18-footer, and it is good.
We talked about that last game, right? The balls that get popped out to the after a shot.
100% field goal percentage.
They always do.
Long 3 is no good off the front rim for Bryant, and here come the Knights. Thought about a 3, now a quick touch pass back. Long 3 is up, and that one's short. Ball batted in the air and taken by the Heat as Butler missed that chance. And now a steal by Montgomery. And it's a 2-on-1. Not to the offense's advantage, but who cares? Go at him anyway. Good job, big fella. Deontay Brown, knocking it down amongst the trees.
See, I don't need no help. I can go 1-on-3.
Nah, who needs help when you can get buckets? Corner. Nice pass down low, although it went a little far, and then trying to save it, unable to do so. It's stolen, but then stolen back, so there you go. And there's a horn. Let's see what the call is. Looks like there was a call on that baseline area.
Another referee communication.
Pitts hands the ball over to the official moments ago. That's Pitts in the white Heat jersey, wearing number 12. It's surprising to me, Paul, how similar to the Miami Heat the West Tennessee Heat jerseys look. I keep wanting to say, when Ty Bryant casts a 3, I keep wanting to say Tyler Hero.
Exactly.
Or Chris or Duncan Robinson. Like,
I'm a little older. I don't see Dwayne Wade out there.
No. Well, there is a number 3. But there would be Ty Gibbs. 3 is up for Pitts. And it is good. Splashdown. Nice shot from Pitts.
Wide open, not even a hand in the space. The Knights can't continue to do that. The Heat are too good at shooters.
Off the deflection. Ball is on the floor. This ball is called in favor of Montgomery. Inbound. Probably over behind their basket. Yep. To the left of the basket. Nearing the 3-point corner baseline. 4:30 to go. 4:31 to be exact. Heat down up by 5. as Montgomery gets it in, driving into the lane with a little floater, leaving it short. Offensive rebound is up, no good. Again, tipped, and this time it goes down, and it looked like that was Robinson on the putback. Give and go, nice play, and a nice block by Robinson. What a play defensively, although Tennessee. Just see if you're paying attention, Paul.
Just say the
It's hot in Tennessee and Miami, so the Heat is a good name for both. Knocked out of bounds, and it will be inbounded by Coleman off to the right of his basket for Tennessee. Short corner. Back to Coleman. Wide open three. Nice rhythm jumper. It's good, and he draws the contact. Crafty move by Coleman for a 4-point play.
Yeah, that's one thing that's a nemesis in basketball in general these days is fouling the shooter.
Oh, yes.
You just can't afford to do that, and but give them. I was going to say Miami Heat.
Hey! See, look where they started.
They're keeping the floor spread. They really pass the ball well and cut well.
No question about it, as a long three is no good. Rebounded by Robinson. Back to the short corner. That one just inside the three-point line, and it's good by Butler. A 4-point game. Pitts, crossover dribble, step back three is up and good. Devin Pitts.
He's shown he has that step back. That's a great move. On the other end, the Montgomery Knights are starting to make the Heat pay on the offensive glass.
Good deflection by Tennessee. Got the hands up, although a whistle on the floor. He still got the hands up. He's like, no.
We were talking about what scouts or other teams are looking at when they're watching this. And that was just a great example. They ran the horns play that's double high that everybody runs. And he was able to split the pick and roll action and get to the basket and create a free throw opportunity. And that's what Washington Thomas is doing, is what other scouts are looking at to see if players can do. Great job by him.
Good job on the analysis there, Paul, as the second free throw was good. Makes it a 5-point game. Tennessee up by 5, 20-15. 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Both teams are executing, moving the ball well. It's good basketball today.
There's probably an opportunity for Pitts to go for a layup. Didn't take it. Instead, it ends up in the hands of another Heat player. I didn't catch who it was, but a wide open layup on the left block.
Once again, great ball movement. Nice pass.
Shot is way off. Rebounded by Robinson. Wide open Butler. He misses. That's a tough one to miss.
Yeah, they always go in. What happened?
Hey, you have to miss one every once in a while. Nice backdoor cut by Coleman. Back to the top for a reset. It's another step back. Another three. Man, he's hit 3 of those already, Paul, and we're not even through the first quarter yet.
Wow, he is in fuego. Someone's got to get into him and guard him. Make it more uncomfortable for him. He's on a roll.
Absolutely. An early leader in the clubhouse for one of the Moody Awards. Mr. Awards. Yes.
Mr. Moody was the first one, but they're
yes, he was the inaugural namesake. That's right.
Gary, you'll notice a little bit how open the floor is for the Heat at the other end of 5 out, and it's a little more congested down at the other end for the Montgomery Knights because they do have a post player, sometimes 2 in there.
Yeah, you big guys can clutter things up for us little guys. I know all about it.
Yeah, they used to tell me all the time, just get out of the way, Mo. Come on. Sidney Moncrief, Terry Cummings, just get out of the way. Paul Preston.
Or better yet, get in the other guy's way. Just set those screens.
Yeah. And what I said was yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's right. What a rebound on the second effort from Coleman, and it's a 12-point game.
Gary, that's how it lasted 12 years. I said yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, manners go a long way.
Yes, sir.
They go a long way. And a whistle on the floor. think there was a loose ball foul, or a foul away from the ball. I'll tell you what, Paul, this is a really nice-sized gym, and I think it's assisting with some of the good, efficient offense we've seen from both teams, especially Tennessee early on. There's just extra space to move around.
Yeah, there's more space, and they utilize it very well. You have to complete your cuts, so that means when you cut to the basket, whether in a back door or a cut, you don't stop around the lane. You clear out all the way out to the three-point line. And on a court like this, it creates space for everybody on your team.
Calhoun splits a pair of free throws for the Knights, cutting the lead to 11. It's 27-16, last minute and a half to go here in the first. Motion offense winds up in that far side wing area. Step back is blocked and ends up all the way on the other end, and the breakaway layup is missed. Oh, man. You hate to miss those. Another steal.
Lost opportunity.
No question about it, Paul. That three is up, and it's out. Tapped a few times. Ends up back on the perimeter to Montgomery. 17-footer is good. Nice shot for the Knights, who cut it down to 11 again. 9 from 11.
Nice pull-up shot right there. Instead of going all the way, he just pulled up for a nice little open jumper.
Beautiful shot. And we're down to the final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Crossover dribble left to right into the lane. Leaves it long, but draws the contact. And it will be Ford heading to the line for Tennessee.
Really nice crossover, like you said, yeah, and he really attacked the rim and created contact to get to the free throw line.
No question about it. And you love to see that with guards, Paul, because so many guards, especially at these levels, are intimidated to some degree by the length of the front court as Ford misses the first. But Ford wasn't. He took it right to the chest of the defender.
You have to be tough enough to take contact and finish and or get the foul. But it looks like he's rubbing his shoulder a little bit. Maybe he paid the price for that one.
It's possible. Sometimes that happens. He does make the second. It's back to 10. Picking up his dribble, maybe a touch early. The Knights now on the far side, about 30 feet from the basket, directing traffic. Looking for a roll. Wasn't there. Top of the circle. Three is good. Big shot for the Knights as the quarter comes to a close. Long three is hoisted to no avail, and it's a 7-point game at the end of one. We'll take a break. 28 for the Heat, 21 for the Knights here on the PBA Game of the Week. Alrighty, we're getting set for quarter number 2 between the Tennessee Heat and the Montgomery Knights. Gary Aid, Paul McKeskey, entertaining first quarter, Paul. A lot of turnovers early on. I think both teams kind of settled in midway through the quarter and produced some fairly efficient offense. Yeah,
both are get a little sloppy with the ball and turn the ball over, but the Heat have shot lights out with Devin Pitts leading the way. And the Knights have kind of found a way to get to the offensive glass and maybe punish them a little bit with their size. So it's going to be an interesting battle coming in for the next 3 quarters.
So Brown, dribble handoff, driving into lane, back to Brown. Driving down that baseline, throws up a floater, bounces around, no good, tipped and taken by the Heat. Here they come the other way, jump pass, 15-footer from the right elbow is no good. Rebounded by Montgomery, who throw it up ahead, and it's deflected out of bounds. And it will stay here with Montgomery. Good defensive play from Bryant.
Yeah, they're getting back in transition defense, very important. Montgomery Knights need to look at the Heat and look at, if I go to the basket, there's nobody there to give resistance or block a shot. I need to go to the Heat.
And just like that, almost on cue, Paul, you see Washington Thomas do exactly that. He draws the foul.
I mean, as a coach, I know everybody goes small and all that, but you need to have a rim protector so there's somebody there to give resistance when guys drive. And at this point right now, the Heat do not have that person. So if the Montgomery Knights realize that and keep attacking the rim, they'll get right back into this game.
We'll see how it plays out as Thomas makes a pair of free throws, and it's a 5-point game, so we've cut it to 5 from 7, and we'll see if they can continue on as Pitts moves to his left, now hands it off, back up top for Bryant. Long three is good. What a shot from Ty Bryant.
He is their another deep three-point shooter that they have more weapons to knock down those threes. Great shot.
Back to 8. Nice fake in the lane. Kick out for 3 is good. Answered right back to the Knights. And boy, you love to see that.
Yeah, you like to see the ball go in, but if you're the Knights, you don't want to fall in love with jump shots because, in my opinion, the Heat win that battle.
And Coleman misses a couple right point blank, but another offensive rebound for Tennessee. Coleman nearly gets stripped. Now does get stripped, but it ends up in the hands of the Heat, who end up with a long 3 from Bryant in the near side corner. No good. Here come the Knights back the other way. It's poked out from behind. Be Montgomery basketball.
That's another way that the Knights can put pressure on the Heat is push the ball right at them. Go to the ring.
Bounding under the basket, gets it over to Harris. Cross court, and it's picked. Those cross court passes are always dangerous. And a trailer gets to the rim off a nice feed, and we'll head to the line. Looks like Gibbs will be the foul shooter.
As a coach, you really want to coach against cross-court passes, especially at this level and the next level, because those steals or turnovers turn into layups and or fouls at the other end, just like that.
Gibbs makes the first. And unlike offensive rebounds that always go in off the tip out, sometimes free throws miss. But not that time. 33-26. Montgomery trying to rally and does. Makes a bucket. Nice driving layup. And it's back to 5.
There you go. No resistance. Once he gets past the original man, there's nobody at the rim in front of him.
And after a botched layup attempt, here come the Knights off the steal. 3 is up, no good. Rebounded by Coleman, who spins away, keeps the ball himself. He's rumbling down the lane, and a whistle is blown. That will likely be, I think, a side out, although this is a few fouls early on for the Knights, so they got to be careful not to get in the penalty too early.
Yeah, and that was another case of shooting a long 3 pretty quickly when you just go to the basket and got a layup the possession before. As a team, why don't we try to do that a little more? Going to the hoop.
Makes sense to me. The other thing that I think is interesting, too, is on those long 3s, so many times the runouts give you problems on the other end because you get long rebounds. So something to think about also. Driving down the lane with the reverse. Nice move. Can't quite finish, but Norman will head to the line.
It seems like both teams are going to the basket a little bit more because we are shooting more free throws here early in this quarter.
And both teams have done a fairly good job from the foul line. Not a ton of misses. Both teams shooting it pretty well. As almost on cue, Norman misses because, why wouldn't he?
Because that's the announcer jinx. Hey, he hasn't missed a free throw. Oops.
Sorry. He does make the second. It's back to 6. 7:35 to go here in the first half. Tennessee up. Near side. Dribbles into the lane, and a nice finish with the right hand by Butler.
If I'm the Montgomery Knights, I'm doing that over and over and over again.
Long 3 is up and good. Oh my goodness, Devin Pitts. He's just making shot after shot.
It looked like he did a little Steph Curry look at the other bench too after that shot.
A short jumper is no good. Rebounded off the back iron. On the other side, a whistle. As Pitts ties his shoe. Montgomery wisely trying to take advantage. With shoelace and all, Pitts gets back in the play, but it rattles in anyway.
Yeah, keep playing. Don't worry.
That's it. Norman to Coleman. Coleman takes one dribble, hands it off. Running layup is no good. Tapped around, ends up with the Knights, who look to cut it to as little as a single possession game. But the traveling violation will thwart that, at least for now.
Yeah, I think you put a little hop step in there and travelable.
38-32, 6:27 to go in the first half. Pass down low. Nice move in the paint, but lost the handle right as he was going up. Gets it right back and puts it in. Nice move from Mellon.
With the first post-up of the game for the Tennessee Heat.
And it's a good one. It's the basket. The long three is missed by Townsend. Ball's picked up by Robinson. Another three is up, and that one is good. So an offensive rebound pays off as there you go, Paul.
Or maybe 90% of the time.
Pitts misses probably the easiest shot he's had all day, and Robinson clears for the Knights.
They call that he was too late.
Yes. And they call that the Detroit Pistons defense.
That's it is true too. Shooters that can shoot like that are used to a hand in their face and some pressure, and when they're sitting there out there with nobody on them, it gets a little uncomfortable for them in their psyche.
That's like the basketball version of reverse psychology.
Leave them more open.
That's right.
I don't know if I would do that. But.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Seems like a good way to give up 40. Jump ball is controlled by Tennessee, and here comes Pitts into the lane, kicks it out. Coleman lines up a three, moves it long, and a rebound chased down by Montgomery. He's up. That one also long, and after it goes through the hands of one player, ends up with the Heat, ends up in transition for Coleman. A three is good, or was that Pitts? That was Pitts again. Never mind. Sorry, Coleman.
Trying to get somebody else to play. Pitts is the most hot player I've seen so far in the whole league.
Yeah, he's really having a great shooting performance as an offensive rebound. Leads to another three attempt for Montgomery. They can't convert. Tipped out, but taken by the Heat. And now this game, which had been as close as 5 recently, is ballooned back to 8, with Tennessee looking to add on. 4:30 to go in the first half.
I think Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think the Montgomery Knights, when they attack the basket, that's when they make their runs, and when they start becoming a jump shooting team, that's when the Heat's separated them.
Seems to be the case, Paul. You're absolutely right about that. After another basket from Tennessee, a long miss by Montgomery back the other way, and a running layup is good. And just like that, it's a double-digit game again after the layup by Pitts.
Quick long three by the Knights and a little layup by the Heat. I would like to see the Knights throw the basket on this possession.
Instead, you'll have to settle for a long three.
Mm-hmm.
No good, but it goes out of bounds along the baseline, and we'll stay with Montgomery. 3:49 to go. And it does seem that the offense of Montgomery's been a little out of sync. You have a substitution coming in. I would be calling a timeout here, Paul. I have to be honest. I'd be calling a timeout to try to recalibrate the offense. And hey, I guess they heard me.
Yes. Good move by the coach and a great comment by the announcer. And I agree. Even the last shot, it missed so bad that they got the ball back. But clearly, Montgomery Knights need to drive to the basket and they can have layups all night instead of doing a shootout battle with the Heat, which the Heat will win. So let's see what happens after that really timely timeout by the coach of the Knights and see if he's get his message to his players to attack the basket, please.
Please and thank you. And as Paul said before, manners could go a long way. They got him 12 years in the NBA, so yes, sir. That's the key word. Ball nearly lost. Montgomery maintains possession and gets a beautiful contested layup, and that was not an easy layup, but Washington Thomas made a hell of a shot.
And they listened, and they took it to the basket. Really good job by Montgomery. They need to keep it up.
Cut it to 9. Coleman, the high circle. 3 is up. No good. Ward with the miss. That was Merlin earlier, not Coleman. My apologies. As Washington Thomas with a pump fake, and the defender's feet were moving all over the place. I'm assuming that is going to be called a block. And it is.
Yeah, he was trying to move his feet and stop the penetration, just a little slow on that. Like the effort, though.
No, absolutely. It's a good play. Not the type of foul you get upset as the coach. There's no doubt about it.
No, you're fine with that.
Montgomery gets it back in bounds. Calhoun backing it up, now attacking. Has it bumped, and it ends out of bounds. He lost the handle, but they say last touched by Tennessee. Calhoun throws it across court. Butler on the catch, gets it into the post. Fadeaway jumper from the baseline is no good. Off the front rim for McKinney, who we haven't seen much since the opening minutes, Paul. You would think they'd want to get him a little bit more involved.
Yeah, he's got 2 post-ups and that's it. I would want to see more of that as we move forward.
And another near steal and run out. But that is thwarted by the ball on the floor.
I mean, you will see, Gary, that they drove the ball a couple times and post up a couple times after that timeout that we talked about.
That's an excellent point, Paul. As the long shot is up, and just like that, the announcer curse lives on.
As a player, instead of doing what we talked about, shoots a one-legged shot like he's Luka.
Yes.
And he's not.
No, definitely not. All right, we're coming back the other way. Bounce pass. Nice play. What a play for Montgomery on the breakout.
Pushing the ball, attacking the rim. The winning combination.
No question about it. Is Washington Thomas on the finish off after the beautiful bounce pass, one-handed bounce pass from Calhoun. It's back to 7.
Last 2 minutes of this half are important, Gary, to see how we finish out. If the Knights can cut into the lead or the Heat can extend it a little bit.
Devin Pitts, who's been a house of fire so far, unable to convert there, and Montgomery has a chance to cut it even further. And a wide open shot for Butler in the near corner. That was a good extra pass. That was a great shot, just didn't go in.
Yeah, that was an open 3 in the corner, which is fine.
Yeah, those are the threes you want to take.
Yes, for sure.
Nice take to the rim, but no good. A foul was not called, much to Pitt's chagrin, as Montgomery converts on the other end with a 17-footer. It's a 5-point game again. Taking a little air out of the ball are the Heat. Being a little methodical on this possession, but they still launch a nice long 3, which ends up in a long rebound. And here comes the run out for Montgomery, who tries their own long 3. No good. Right back to him, but some bodies flying under the basket, and there'll be a foul called.
And that shot did go in there.
It did.
They call that two for a dollar.
That's right.
But unfortunately, it didn't count, but it did go in.
No. Bank said, no, sorry, your dollar is made out of Monopoly money. Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. You can't cash it.
It's 46-41. Under a minute to go here in the first half. We'll have the halftime report coming up momentarily, as Montgomery will look to inbound to the left of their basket. Our left, your right. pounding
old
the ball.
Chick Hearn saying, well, I love it.
Yo. Hey, I'm not as young as I look or sound. I know all about Chick Hearn.
Chick Hearn was one of the best. For those of you out there don't know, he was a Laker announcer for 50 years maybe.
Oh,
Just
probably
awesome.
so. Yeah, he was long time. He was tremendous. As a steal by the Heat leads to a foul on the other end as Calhoun tags Pitts.
If people out there want to watch some great announcing, go back to the 80s and watch the Boston Celtics Lakers series. Chick Hearn for the Lakers and Johnny Most for the Celtics. Classic basketball announcers.
No question about it. Most is a little bit more of an acquired taste as far as his voice is concerned, but he's tremendous.
They're both homers, but Most was the utmost.
Yes,
homer.
absolutely.
And Tommy Heinsohn, God rest his soul,
Yes.
took over for Most and was a lot the same as far as the homer announcer, but a very skilled announcer.
No question about it. And the 3 is off the mark, short for Washington Thomas. And the final 30 seconds of the first half are upon us.
Sorry, people out there. I was having a little flashback. Sorry.
It happens every once in a while. Flashbacks are always fun.
A little weave action by the Heat.
Looks like they might have dropped the needle, though, as the ball goes right through the hands and ends up out of bounds.
And if you're the Knights right now, there's 16 seconds left. You cut the 7-point lead to 5. You want to take the last shot here and make it a 3-point game or a 2-point game.
Take the shot. It's an air ball. Well defended. That shot ends the first half with the Heat up by 5. It's 46-41 at the half here on the PBA Game of the Week. Back after this on PBA TV.
When we were kids, exercise was easy. We played tag, soccer, and hide-and-go-seek, running, kicking, and jumping until the streetlights came on. It was exercise, but it was fun. Then as we grew, we traded playing for working out to stay fit. It became a chore, a task. Words like, I can't, and I'll start tomorrow crept into our heads. But then, whoever said working out can't be fun? There's a place where the best exercise is the one you love to do, where staying fit takes the form of kickbox cardio, Zumba classes, and enjoying the most state-of-the-art equipment around. Where I can't has been replaced with I can. I am. And I did. Let's keep running, kicking, and jumping to our heart's content. In a place that lets you work out any way you want. LA Fitness.
Alrighty, welcome back to the halftime report brought to you by Wilson Sporting Goods, the official game ball of the PBA. I'm Gary Ade, he's Paul McKeskey, and we're watching a pretty close game today, Paul. 5-point game at the half. The Tennessee Heat up by 5, 46-41 against the Montgomery Knights. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think obviously Devin Pitts has had a half to remember, and he's knocked just about every shot down, almost all of them threes. Has been very impactful. Along with Ty Bryant for the Heat. They really move the ball. They keep the floor spread. They're very good passers, even though they do get sloppy and turn the ball over sometimes. And, they have a slight control of this game. It's been back and forth. The Montgomery Knights, however, have relied too much on the jump shot. The Heat have no resistance underneath the basket, no shot blocker. And when the Montgomery Knights attack the basket and get free throws and or fouls, they can take control of the game. When they try to do a battle of three-point shooters, that's why you have a 5-point game. And what I would say to the Knights, if I was the coaches, if we continue to do this, it's going to be a toss-up at the end. But if we will focus on attacking the basket and driving the ball, we will win this game handily. It's up to us.
Mm. And, you love when a challenge to a player like that, Paul, because, it puts the ball in their court, no pun intended. I mean, you really you want your players to respond to that type of direct challenge, and you want to see how your players respond to that type of direct challenge. Coaches do that all the time. Talking about from the other side of things with Montgomery, you mentioned their lack of attack, their Jekyll and Hyde approach in the first half of offense, sometimes attacking the basket, getting great results, sometimes settling for jumpers and getting lesser results. What about their defense? I mean, Pitts is an astounding offensive player at this level, really one of the tougher guys to deal with in the league. So it might look like the defense is failing, but the truth is I thought their defense was relatively solid at most times in the first half.
Yeah, I agree, Gary. I think, the Pitts and a couple of other Heat players did shake away sometimes and shoot uncontested shots. That's a problem. I want to contest all their shots, but if I'm the Montgomery Knights coach, I'm saying, listen, they're a very good outside shooting team. We got to put more pressure on Pitts, make him drive the ball, do something he doesn't want to do, is shoot threes, make him go to the basket. But they're shooting, out of their heads right now. So if we'll continue to contest, stay in front of our guys, and make them go to the basket, and we can contend with that, we'll get control of this game. On the other end, if I'm the Heat, I'm saying we just keep doing what we do, keep the floor open, move the ball, and knock down open shots like we always do. We'll win this game. However, we'll have a better chance at winning this game if we will move our feet, and maybe since we don't have a shot blocker, how about we move our feet and take some charges underneath the basket this half and see how that stops them.
Jeez, yeah, we'll see. I mean, you did see later in the first half, there was one bang play where there was a block called because of the feet being moved. I think it was Gibbs for Tennessee who was trying to defend and just kind of lost his footing a little bit, moving his feet, didn't do it in time. We'll see how it plays out. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the second half tip-off. It's the PBA game of the week, the Tennessee Heat and the Montgomery Knights 5-point game when we return for the second half right here on PBA TV.
Hey, got that work films. Tell me, how you feeling today? How you feel?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm blessed.
It's your brother Paul Anthony. It's your boy Lucian George, a.k.a. Bow-Legged Luke.
Hello, my name is Demetria Ovalor.
Kicking some freaking ass.
Alrighty, we're here back for the second half. Gary Aid, Paul McKeskey, 46-41. The Heat are on top. And this is one heck of a gym, Paul. We mentioned it in the first half. It bears repeating. This gym affords a lot of luxury for the offensive players and a much bigger challenge for the defensive players.
Yeah, as long as you keep the floor spread on offense and keep the middle open, it's very hard for the defense to stay in front of you, keep your spacing and keep attacking. And if you're the Heat, you're drawing kick. If you're Montgomery Knights, you get to the basket and finish.
Pitts attempts to make the layup, unable to do so. And after a couple of attempts, Montgomery comes away. And a basket on the other end. What a play.
That's a good example of Montgomery making Pitts drive instead of sitting out there and shooting jump shots.
It's a 3-point game. Pull up from about the foul line is good. Nice shot by Gibbs, and it extends it back to 5. Montgomery back the other way. Nice screen up top by Robinson. He feeds him, and it gets knocked out of his hands.
Yeah, That was a little shuffle pass. The guy was open and rolling. He has to have better hands to catch that. But also, as a guard or a wing, if you're driving and a big guy's rolling, I like the
High.
little bounce pass or high. One
High.
of those, not a shuffle pass. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you want that high there, especially in that kind of tight window, because obviously the guard got their hand on it and that knocked it off the chest of the offensive player Robinson, and that three is out of bounds off the side of the backboard, and it's back to Montgomery, which still trails by 5. Wide open three, but passed it up for a layup for Robinson, who kicks it out. Probably not the best kick out, but it ends up working out as the layup is good for Brown.
They passed up one layup, but they kicked it out instead of shooting the three. They drove in for another layup, so at least they got that one.
There we go. And it's back to 3. 3 is up. And good. Oh, man. That's a tough shot. And it's back to 6.
You got to make them drive.
High screen being set by Robinson. Now back roll into the basket. Nice take into the lane. No good on the tip. Robinson can't control the second attempt, and it's taken by the Heat. Into the lane. Touch pass to the far corner. Top of the key. Shot is up, and it's good by Bryant.
Yes, swing to the open jump shot. Ball movement kills the defense.
Certainly did there, and the Heat have extended their lead back out to 9. Lob is up, but taken away from Robinson by Coleman, who had the inside position. Probably not a good spot there for the alley-oop, as Robinson just didn't have the position to make a play there.
And it was too congested in there.
Yeah.
Very tough pass.
9-point game, and Tennessee looking to add to it. It's momentarily loses the dribble, gets it back, kicks it far side. Step up shot, no. Instead, a drop pass to Coleman, who turns, looks, and hisses it off the window. Nice play from Coleman.
Little inside left hand hook action, very nice catch.
56-45, 11 points is the difference. Shot is up, no good. Robinson, another offensive rebound. I'll tell you what, Paul, as he puts it in, he's been very active to start this second half.
Yeah, it looks like they're making a concerted effort to give him the ball, maybe overpassing a little bit, but that was a great opportunity, offensive rebound, putback by Robinson.
Back to single digits. Quick little head fake. Out for Gibbs, top of the circle. Misses. Coleman with the rebound. Good contest by Robinson, who I think got a hand on that, and it's taken away by Montgomery on the other end. Nice catch and a finish. Good play from Robinson.
Great defense on one hand leads to an easy bucket on the other end. Montgomery needs more of that from Montgomery Knights.
They're down by 7. 3.5 gone by. Oh, look what I found. My shoe. And hey, no problem. We got this.
I think that was a distracted play. I think your fake shoe tie distracted him.
It very well might have, as Norman made the shot for the Heat, and Montgomery came back. Right back, though, is, oh man, the Heat strike fast. Another big 3 from Bryant.
Yeah, Ty Bryant's a very good shooter. I like his game. He's under control to knock down open shots.
Montgomery trying to make something happen. Gets it up top. Nice feed down low for Robinson, who gets hacked right away. That was all they could do. He had an uncontested layup. Good pass down into the low block.
Yeah, like you said before, Gary, it looks like they're getting Robinson involved. He's touched the ball 5 or 6 times already in this half, and shooting free throws now.
So it's a 9-point advantage for the Heat, pending the free throws from Robinson. A one-handed push.
Wow, okay.
Didn't go in. I must say that's a unique free throw for him.
I don't know what he shoots from the free throw line, but unless he's struggling a lot, it's experimenting. I don't know about the one hand. Violation.
I guess it must have been a lane violation.
Here you go, Gary. Let me quiz you. Name me a couple former NBA one-hand free throw shooters.
The only one I can think of off the top for sure was Oscar Robertson.
Yes, and then the other one was my teammate Paul Pressey did the same thing.
I didn't know Pressey did that. Okay.
Good one on the Oscar though. I like it, man.
Hey, sometimes I surprise even myself occasionally. Every once in a while I get one right. And a near steal on the other end. And all kidding aside, I mean, like you said, everyone has their own form that they're comfortable with, and certainly Robinson and your teammate Pressey were excellent foul shooters. So Robinson, hopefully he's able to be comfortable with that. I know it's something you don't see a lot of. And you wonder how much time is spent on free throw form and routines, Paul, especially with big men. It's a topic of frequent conversation. Is it a topic of a lot of practice time in the trenches, so to speak?
Yeah, not enough time is spent because games are won and lost at the free throw line, and a weak free throw shooter, hack a shot, all that stuff. Even Giannis in Milwaukee struggles from the free throw line, so it's hard to be in the game at the end when you can't make free throws. So routine repetition is very key. The more, the better.
Couple of misses there. Three is up. Good. So just like that, it's back to 10. Halfway through the third quarter. Butler with the pump fake. Kicks it back to the top. Reset. Brown holds in. Now drives to his right. Gets to the rim. Misses the layup. Ball tipped away and taken by Bryant, who is now on the near side in the corner. Gets stuck down there. Gets it down to the block for Coleman. Fadeaway jumper is no good, but looks like he got hit on the wrist, and he'll shoot a pair of free throws.
Yeah, free throws have been the nemesis already for the Montgomery Knights. I think they've missed 6 or 7 of them already. And, in a tight game, that's really going to hurt you. And like we talked before, Gary, routine and repetition and accountability is very important. Players should focus on that more. If you're a 40% free throw shooter and become 55, or you're a 50 and become 65 or 68, just think of the better impact you have on your team and the more points you can actually score.
Yeah, and there's no question about it, Paul, as we see the teams take a timeout. We'll keep it right here and kind of expand on this point. One guy that I often talk about is DeAndre Jordan, who turned himself from one of the worst free throw shooters really in NBA history into a 70-plus free throw shooter at one point. He's regressed again a little bit, but it does go to show you, when he did that like 8 years into his career, it was pretty deep into his career, so it does go to show you that if you work on it, you can improve.
Absolutely, and you have to work on it correctly. So you don't just show up after practice and shoot 100 free throws. That's not going to make you better. You need to look at your balance, look at your your form, look at your aim, look at where you're lining up on the line. Everybody has their unique thing that they want to be comfortable with, and that's fine. But all that, the alignment is so important. In Dallas Mavericks, we had a free throw coach that videoed everybody's free throw from behind the basket, at half court, on the side, and would show you what you're doing wrong. It could be simple as moving your left foot 3 inches over to the left to get a wider base. And now I've also seen people do their launch from the side, so they're not squared up straight to the basket. They're squared up to the right of it. So your shots are going to go to the right of it, and then you have to adjust to make it go left. Those little things, just like a golf shot.
Yes, that's a great analogy.
Your alignment is so important. If you don't have your alignment right to start with, your body and your mind is going to have to adjust, and that makes it more and more difficult to be consistent with your shot or putt or drive.
No question about it, as the Heat make a couple of free throws, and it's up to 12. Coleman made a pair there. All fake. Pull up. It's good. Nice shot from Brown.
Knights got to really lock down on defense here to get a run going.
You know what I've noticed too about the Knights here, Paul, and you can let me know if I'm seeing things here. But oh man, Bryant got whacked. That was a bad foul, and he'll definitely shoot free throws for that. No question about that one.
Fouling the shooter again, it's just a sin in basketball. He had no chance of blocking that shot. If you're going to contest, you have to land far enough away, and you can't swat at the ball.
It was a bad foul by Calhoun. Bryant makes the first. But what I was going to say is, I think the Knights have done a better job, even on the outside shots they have taken in this half. They've taken a couple of steps in. You've seen a lot of 15-footers and 18-footers and less 20 and 21-footers, which I know the analytics crowd would say isn't the best. But you know what? When you're not making them, the analytics aren't good either.
Yeah, I agree. But also analytics, number one shot in analytics is a layup. And I believe that the Knights will try to get the layup.
Try to get one there, and no call is made as the shot misses badly for the Knights. Here come the Heat on the other end, and an easy layup on that end. That's defense that you can't have.
The other end, that's not very good, and you will not get back into that type of defense.
No question about it. They do draw some contact on the other end and send Calhoun back to the line, trying to cut into this lead. But again, this was a 4 or 5. I think it was 4 points at halftime, Paul, and now it's ballooned to 15 in under 7 minutes as Calhoun misses the first. This is the type of thing that can happen in basketball. If you let your guard down for a couple of minutes, all of a sudden a competitive game could turn into a blowout real fast.
Absolutely. Bad free throw shooting, bad defense is attributed to this. This is a time for a coach to call timeout, get your team together, and get them back together. Calhoun
misses the second. Gibson on the breakout, lays it in. Yeah, you're right, Paul. This is a time for a timeout. There's no question. And I'm not going to see it just yet as they play on. Top of the key. Running layup in the lane. No good. Tipped in the air. Taken by the Heat. They're looking to add to this lead, up 17. Hits. Now the screen from Coleman. Now steps back up. Hesitation dribble. Step back from the left elbow. No good. Rebounded on the offensive end. Put back up and in. An offensive rebound leading to a putback, and it's now 19 points.
And you look at the players of the Montgomery Knights hanging their heads, going back the other way. This is almost a must situation. If they don't score here, they have to get a timeout.
3 is up. It's no good. Rebounded by Pitts. To push it to greater than 20. Gets a pass down into a block, but I believe a call ahead of the pass. Probably an offensive foul. It is. So there's the stop you were looking for. You're Montgomery.
Yeah, we finally took a charge, and I still think the coach right now should call a timeout, get his team together. This is the borderline of having a blowout happen, or in the next 2 minutes or 40 seconds, we can get 3 or 4 stops and get back in this game. But you have to communicate that to your players at this point.
Yes, absolutely. And 19 points. I think, and for guys who like us who have been around the game for a long time, Paul, I mean, you more so than me, but even myself, I've been around the game for close to 20 years. I think we have to recalibrate our minds. 19 points is not what 19 points used to be. There's a lot more possessions in the game now, and there's a lot more points per possession due to the three-point shot. 19 now is like maybe 10 or 11 20 years ago.
Yeah, I agree with that. However, playing 10-minute quarters like we are in the PBA is different than 12-minute quarters.
Yes,
so,
that's very true.
You go into the fourth quarter down 19, that's like, even though it's like 10 or 11, it's still like 15 now because of the 10-minute quarter.
Right, you do lose some of that advantage a little bit. That's true, as the 3 is up and good. So the Knights, out of the quick break and play, do cash in a 3, and they cut it back down.
If you're the Knights, you're looking for 2 or 3 stops right here.
Yeah, you can't go basket for basket, that's for sure. Congestion on the block ends up in a basket for the Heat, so that is not the stop that the Knights were looking for, and they're back down 18. Long 3. Not a good shot, very rushed. Butler does get the rebound off the tap and gets taken to the ground. Whistle on the floor. We'll stay with Montgomery.
Yeah, I think they got a timeout
Yes.
before the jump ball. The problem at the other end is they got the original stop, but then they let the Heat get 2 or 3 offensive rebound putbacks. So you complete your defensive possession when you get the ball, not when you make your original stop. You have to get the ball, whether it's a steal, a deflection, a defensive rebound. And the worst part of getting the ball is taking it out of the net and rebounding it because they scored.
Yeah, no, that you don't want. Again, you can't go basket for basket here right now. It's not a good time to do it. It's never a good time to do it, but when you're down by a bunch, you definitely can't afford to do it. How do you get back into this game if you're Montgomery? I mean, at some point the clock's going to become your nemesis. You still have time to go to the basket, like you've been saying all game, Paul, but you got to start making your move now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna drop a play where I get to the basket, score, maybe get an N1. We must get 2 or 3 more stops at the other end at the end of this quarter and get this thing manageable, 13, 14, 15 points.
So off the inbound, nice pass down low. Caught the guy a little bit off guard. Long shot is no good. Rebounded by Butler. Gets it back up at the rim, but it's deflected. Another rebound, and this one draws contact. Doesn't go in, but good tenacity on the offensive glass there for the Knights. You like to see that.
Yeah, and also it stops the clock here at the end of the quarter, so that's good. But you have to make these free throws. You have to convert the free throws to make this count.
Yes, free throws matter. Make the first. Looks like a few wet spots on the floor. You hear the little squeaking noises. And there comes the towel.
Well, that's a bad noise when you have to clean up wet spot. It's a good noise when you're playing defense. You know your team is moving their feet.
Yes. Context is everything. No different with squeaky sneakers. You don't get that on concrete.
No. Or tartan.
Right. But you do get sore knees on concrete.
For sure. As my 4 foot surgeries attest to.
Jeez. It's a lot of foot surgeries. Is that 2 on each? Number of points here is 17. That's the differential. As the Heat look to add to it. As the last minute and change ticks down here in the third quarter. Ball is tipped. Last touched by Montgomery. Nice move inside. Can't finish. But there is some contact. That was a good seal by Mellon there, Paul, and just couldn't quite get it to go.
Yeah, but, he's making his presence known. He's battling inside, getting to the free throw line.
Misses the first. And airballs the second.
Whoa, that's not a good sign.
Good news is the next one will be better. Montgomery's back on the other end. Shoots a long 3. No good. Rebounded by Tennessee, who looks to push. Slows it up. Walks it across the timeline. Screen set up top by Maryland, and misses on the roll. And he's the last to touch it, so it's back to Montgomery.
This is a good chance for 2 for 1. If you get a shot off within 32 seconds, 33, you get a shot coming back the other way.
Let's see if Montgomery goes that direction. Looks like they're aiming to. Getting into the lane. No good. Offensive rebound. Put back with 2 hands. Nice play for the Knights.
Good rebound. Now you need to stop and get a last second shot. Maybe cut the end of this lead a little bit.
Three is up. No good. Rebound tipped. Saved. And here come the Knights with a final possession of the quarter. Floater is up and in. Nope, out. Batted around and ends up on the perimeter. Three is up. Check that, a 15-footer. He stepped in, missed it, and that'll end the quarter. So with 10 minutes to play, 1 quarter to go, the Heat have 77. The Knights have 62 here on the PBA Game of the Week. Alrighty, the teams take the court for the fourth quarter. Gary Aid, Paul McKeskey here on the PBA Game of the Week, PBA TV on Roku, Amazon, and YouTube. Paul, we got 15-point deficit, 10 minutes to go. Can we see a competitive finish to this game? What do the Knights have to do to make that happen?
Well, they did it at the end of the quarter. They got a 2-for-1 opportunity, made one basket, got a good look at the second basket. They need to do more of that, and they can get this back into this game.
That long jumper is good. Not sure if it was a 2 or a 3. I think it was a 2. Put on the line. So it's back to 13.
But the Knights have to get stops. They can't trade baskets like we've been talking about all games here.
Yes, Coleman misses the shot, so there's a stop for the Knights right on cue, and here they come, trying to cut back into the lead more. Getting to the lane. Layup is no good off the window, but a foul, and that will send Brown to the free throw line.
And attack the basket. Continue to attack the basket for the rest of this game and make free throws, and we can still win this thing if I'm the Montgomery Knights coach and players.
Yes. Brown makes the first. Back to 12. Takes one dribble and nets the second. 77-66, and just like that, it's an 11-point game. Now you're a stop or two away from really getting back into this if you can convert on the other end. Let's see what they do as a screen is set at the top. Into the lane on the floater. No good from Ford, but a foul is called, and that will send him to the line.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me the refs are really tightening their calls now. We're getting a lot more free throws than the first half. So as both teams need to continue to attack the basket and convert their free throws.
Ford makes the first. Gets the pass from the ref. Takes a dribble. And converts the second. 2 for 2 for Ford, and it's back to 13. Across the timeline for Montgomery. Dribble handoff. A second one. A little weave there. Crossover from Butler. Steps into a 3. Leaves it well short. Collected by the Heat. Here they come the other end. Ford backs it back out. Goes around the screen from Maryland. Finds the man in the corner. Now one more swing pass. Long 3 is up. No good. Rebounded by Mellon again, though. Into the lane. Drawing contact, and he'll head to the line. Good tenacity on the offensive glass. Way to stay in the play as the big man.
Yeah, and, at the other end, the Montgomery Knights, it wasn't a terrible shot, but at this point in the game, you need to drive and create contact because the refs are calling it tighter. And at the other end, he did that, and now they're shooting free throws. So the Knights don't have much room or time or leeway to keep making mistakes like that. They have to do everything right here to win this game.
Time is ticking away. We're down to 8:39 to go. It's a 13-point game pending the free throws. The first one is off the back iron, no good. And the Heat are giving the Knights a chance here. They've missed a few free throws, though Taylor made the previous 2 before this. And whenever you get to the line, you're also stopping the clock, which of course is the enemy of the team trailing, as both miss, and the Knights clear.
Yes, they are leaving the door open. It's not wide open, but it's open.
Yes. The long 3 is way off to the left by a good margin, and a whistle on the floor after the loose ball was not conclusively cleared by either team.
Wide
Stay
left was that shot.
Yes. Scott Norwood knows it well. Wide left. A football reference.
Another shoe tie.
Sometimes, those shoes, not all laces are made equal. I am convinced of that. There's some laces that just like to untie themselves.
Maybe they need to go to the John Wooden shoe tie and sock pull-up.
The UCLA camp from back in the day. That's right. It's got to be some old videos about that. And traveling violation. Yep, good call from the near side official. And that's a turnover that the Knights can ill afford here, Paul.
No, you can't. You can't come up empty with too many more possessions if you're going to try and win this game.
$79-66. Kicking down to the 8-minute mark left in the game. Ford handling. Near side. Dribble handoff. Norman loses the ball. Falls on it. And we have a whistle. I believe they got the timeout before the jump ball. But we'll see when they break huddle. Paul, when you look at this game so far in this last quarter with just under 8 minutes to go, the Knights are not showing the energy or urgency you'd expect from a team trying to win a game that they're down by 13. They've made a couple of costly mistakes, most notably a couple of turnovers. The last one was a perfect example. You need to see some intensity. I would expect some trapping or something like that, full court defensive pressure of some kind at this point, no?
Well, I think there's a lot of time left, almost 8 minutes. But you need to do things right, attack the rim, stop settling for long threes early, and get some defensive stops. This game is winnable, but your time is running out and your possessions are running out.
And just like that, right off the inbound, an easy layup on the inside for the Heat. That's not a good start.
No, not at all.
Crossover dribble, now a hesitation. Step up for Butler, leaves it short. Rebounded far side by the Heat. Here they come, looking to extend their lead. Good harassing defense that time, but they scored away, and an offensive foul. So good job moving the feet and taking the hit by the Knights. So there you go. That's a good defensive stop.
That's a player making a defensive stop on a charge that won't be seen in the box score, but gives their team another possession to get back in this game.
Very good defensive play, no question about it, by Thomas. And a three on the other end, and just like that, you don't get an assist for drawing charges, but that was basically an assist there.
Yeah, that's a 5-point turnaround. Take the charge and you go down and make a 3. 5-point turnaround, huge.
Yep, absolutely, and it's back to 12. Good trapping defense. We mentioned this a second ago. I did that you're going to start seeing some traps, hopefully, and there you go. Montgomery creates a turnover with that trap.
Yes, absolutely. And you called it. Put some pressure on them. Stop making them comfortable. Make them uncomfortable.
Yep. You absolutely have to do that. And it's worth noting, too, Paul, that Wiley, number 22, is in the game for the first time, I think, all night for Tennessee. And he's been handling the ball as that shot is off by Montgomery. Nearly stolen. Nice defensive play, but to no avail by Townsend. Back the other way come the Heat. Wiley into the lane. Layup is good. Man, where's he been all game if he could do that?
He's been resting for this moment exactly. That's smart coaching.
No question. Secret weapon down the stretch. Driving into the lane. Nice finish by Brown. What a right-handed scoop shot. It's Wiley back the other end. I'll tell you what, he's making up for lost time. He's going right at the guys, but got called for a whistle there. Be a little too zealous.
Yeah, it's a little over aggressive there.
It's a 12-point game. Still plenty of time. Over 6 minutes to go. Knights trying to make a move, make this game close. Around a screen. Brown kicks out. On the reset. Knights looking to push. Get into the lane. Guys get tied up. A whistle is blown. I think a call is made against Mellon.
And this might become what we're talking about at the end of this game. It might be a free throw shooting contest because of all the fouls being called early. And it's going to come down to what team makes free throws.
So far, both teams have missed some, but neither has been bad. But the Knights can't afford to be not bad. They have to be good to great to come back as Butler makes the first. 11-point game. Make it 10. Butler 2 for 2.
Yeah, those look like two solid free throws right there.
No question. Right down Broadway. Under 6 to go. Heat looking to reestablish some additional margin. Into the lane. Wiley. No good. Rebounded. Here come the Knights pushing the other way. Far side corner. 3 is up. That one's no good. Ball tipped in the air and taken by the Heat. Here they come on a fast break. It's a 4-on-3. Good transition defense from the Knights, thwarting that run out. And the reset by Ford. Corner. Stolen. Good defense coming from behind to steal it away from Coleman. On the other end, it's an alley-oop dunk. And just like that, it's a single-digit deficit, Paul.
Yeah, I think it's time for the Heat to put some of their starters back in this game and steal it.
Halfway through the fourth. 8-point game. Robinson, Maryland didn't want to shoot that, and a turnover.
I don't know if that was 3 seconds or a shot clock.
Tell you what,
And
it's getting a little too close for comfort if you're the Heat.
absolutely. And I'm putting my best team in there right now. Whatever 5 players I'm comfortable with and making good decisions and being able to close this game out, that's who's going to be on the floor right now for the rest of the game.
No doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. And if you're Montgomery, what have they done differently that's led to this comeback that is in progress as we speak?
They've actually got some stops and capitalized by going to the basket. For the most part, haven't settled for long, quick threes and got to the free throw line, which stops the clock, and converted on free throws. So that's a double whammy right there.
Here they are with the ball again, looking to dig in even further. Easy shot, nice play, good to set up the shooter, and I believe that was Washington Thomas on the 3. So just like that, Paul, it's a closer and closer game, but a big bucket there for the Heat. And they call that last one by Thomas a 2, so it's still 8. And that one's going to go off the hands, I think last touched by the Heat. Looked like a Heat player got a hand in there at the last second, maybe inadvertently, because it might have gone off the Knights before that.
And now the Heat have Pitts and Bryant back in the game, so hopefully they can calm things down for the Heat.
Some trouble getting it in. Finally gets it into Butler. Double clutch layup is well off. And it looks like they're going to call a self-pass.
Yeah, I think it didn't hit the rim, so.
Yeah. Under 5 to go. Actually, under 4 to go. 3:59. Heat up by 8. Looking to be a little methodical. Probably a little early to take the air out of the ball, so to speak. Bryant with a beautiful free throw line floater. Wow, what a shot for Bryant, who just checked back in.
Nice float game by Bryant, and that's what you need. If you're a shooter like him, you want a float game also. Very nice.
Ball was lost and then taken by the Heat. They have it deflected, and a rundown is won by the Knights coming back the other way. Shot is up and good. A nice shot from Washington Thomas, and it's back to single digits, back to 8.
And that's as the Heat, you don't want your big throwing some long pass that maybe can be turned over, which it was, and they come down and knock down a shot. Just give the ball to a point guard, bring it down, execute, get a good shot or foul, and win this game.
It's winning time, no question. I think you're absolutely right about that, Paul. It's back to 6, 87-81, but free throws forthcoming for the Heat.
A
with
lot
few
of time
seconds.
left in this game.
Yep, and they just put some more back on the clock. It's back to 3:49. Rattles out. Pitts with an uncharacteristic missed free throw. Couple dribbles. And the second one misses too.
Free throw
Knights
game
clear.
becoming important.
Absolutely. Knights looking to cut it further. Nice short jumper is good from McKinney.
Wow.
Down to 4.
Now we have a game, Jay.
We do have a game. Let's do it. Crossover dribble. What a crossover into the lane. No good, but a foul. Man, what a tight crossover there by the Heat. That was a really good bit of ball handling there from Ford.
Yeah, and the Montgomery Knight was a little slow getting over there. Got blocked instead of getting that charge call, which would have been huge at this point.
No doubt about it. It's a good point by you, Paul, as Ford misses. And that's 3 straight free throws missed by the Heat. They are really keeping that door open for the Knights, and now it's wide open.
And we talked about the importance of free throw shooting and practicing.
It does make the second, which is significant as it makes it a 2-possession game. Bad shot, but it finds its way into the basket, so I guess good shot.
We got the 1-foot dirt/Luka shot.
Yeah, that's one of those. No, yes. Nice spin into the lane. Good finish. Wow, what a play.
That's one of your better players making a great play. That's how you win games. We'll see how it carries over.
No question about it. What a play. Oh, nice pass down low from McKinney. Back to McKinney. Free throw line jumper is good. Nice 2-man game. This is a 3-point game, Paul. Under 3 to go.
Yep, whichever team can execute and make free throws will win.
Bryant, wide open. He knocks it down. Clutch shot for Bryant.
And like I said, we'll make threes.
Yes. Crossover dribble. Pull up. No good. Rebounded by Bryant. Here comes Pitts. 2 are back, though, and he'll pull it back. Good transition defense. Coleman in the lane. Kicks it. Top of the circle. 3 is up. No good. Long rebound comes all the way out, but good job wrestling it away. And coming the other way is Calhoun. Into the lane. Layup is up. No good. Rebounded by Foreman. Here he comes the other way. Into the lane. Loses the ball. Taken by the Knights, who have to hurry up. Under 2. And we may have a whistle. I'm not sure if it was a foul or not.
Looks like it's a timeout.
Yeah, they did get the timeout. I thought, to be honest with you, Paul, I thought that was going to be a carrying violation. It looked like that was what they were calling. But
yeah, I think Montgomery Knights coach said enough of this craziness. Let's slow it down a minute. Turnover is getting to be crazy.
Into the lane. Euro step. Some contact. And let's see. Gonna send Knights to the line. It'll be Washington Thomas. Might have gotten away with something there. That was a sloppy possession.
Well, we were talking about communication with the refs earlier. You saw nonverbal communication between the 2 refs. The ref up top on that call, they both blew their whistle, but he looked at the ref underneath who had that call first before he made any sign. So that was nonverbal communication by the refs.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, Paul, and you're right on the money again. Communication is key. Washington Thomas, speaking of key, does miss a key free throw. Makes the second, but that leaves it at a 5-point game, and time is a premium right now, under 2 to go. Ford, crossover dribble right to left, really loses it, gets it to the corner, and then close to a steal from Butler And Bryant lines up a three and knocks it down. That might be the dagger.
Wow, what a great shot, timely shot.
That one hurts.
Brian can shoot, flat out shoot.
Long three. No good. You have a whistle. Not sure the call, but man, what a shot on the other end by Brian. And you just get the feeling that that one might have been the icing on the cake. I know there's a minute left and we have some free throws forthcoming, but 8 points in a minute seems like a tall task to overcome.
Here's a great time, Gary, for what you're talking about. Make both free throws and then full court press them. Try and get a quick turnover.
Washington Thomas does make the first.
At the very least, trap him when he comes across.
Yeah, you have to trap.
You have to create possessions at this point.
That was a three-point shot, so there'll be one more free throw forthcoming for Thomas, who does make the second.
That actually does change your strategy a little bit because this is going to be a two-possession game. You still need to get a stop, but maybe not necessarily take that many chances.
So 3 for 3, big free throws for Thomas. And it does look like they're going to play it out. They're not going to go into the foul game just yet. Not as much pressure as you'd expect either, although to your point, Paul, maybe that's part of the strategy. As Pitts gets into the lane with a spinning move, draws contact, and that is going to send one of the better shooters in the league with really bad shoelaces to the free throw line.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't time to trap or anything. It was time to get a stop because it's only a 5-point game. But you made a mistake by fouling, but you did stop the clock, so there's still almost a minute left.
Pitts makes the first.
And here's where, as a head coach, your timeouts matter. So if you had to use timeouts early in this game and you don't have any left now, you cannot extend this game, and that's a problem. So I'm not sure what the timeout situation is.
Rattles the second out. And the Knights get a break there. Still just a two-possession game. That was a big miss by Pitts. Let's see if the Knights can make it matter. Layup is no good. Nice drive into the basket by Brown. Will go to the line.
42 seconds left. If you make these two free throws, it's a 4-point game. Two possession, but there's still, if you have a timeout left, it's important.
Bad miss for Brown. That one hurts. Does make the second.
Still a two-possession game.
Yep. It looks like they're going to play it out.
One stop right here.
We have a whistle on the floor. Timeout, I believe, was the call. I think the Heat called timeout from the bench.
So, Gary, there's two strategies here if you're the Knights. You either play it out, you probably end up with 15 seconds left. If you have a timeout, you can score quick and call timeout and advance the ball. Or you can go ahead and extend this game and foul right away. Try to go for the steal on inbounds. If you don't get it foul, put them on the line and then play it out from there. Two different strategies.
Which way would you go?
Right here, I would probably go for the steal and foul. However, I would know whether my free throw shooters can make free throws or not.
It's probably a break for the Knights as Bryant gets it in. That Bryant was one of the inbounders, because if I'm going to foul, he's one of the last guys that want to foul. Coleman, wide open shot, rattles in, and that will likely seal it. Big free throw line from Coleman. And that was a jumper from Coleman from the foul line and a pass into the lane for McKinney. But now it's a 7-point game. What a shot.
What a huge bucket. And as they say, it might be the nail in the coffin. I think that door is closed now.
Yes.
Still 14 seconds left. I don't know how many timeouts, if any, he has. But if he has one or two, he's got still a chance here.
Misses the second. Two big free throw misses down the stretch for Brown. And looks like they're going to dribble this out. And that will do it. So the final score tonight, 99-93. A good game in the West Tennessee Heat upend the Montgomery Knights by a final of 99-93. Stick around for the post-game report right here on PBA TV. We're back on the PBA Game of the Week post-game report, brought to you in part by Wilson Sporting Goods, the official game ball of the PBA. Gary Aid, Paul McKeskey, and we watched a good one today, Paul. The West Tennessee Heat narrowly escape with a 6-point victory against the Montgomery Knights, 99-93. Montgomery made a game of it late, used a really strong third quarter and a nice spurt in the middle of the fourth to really make this a competitive game. But in the end, a couple of key free throw misses by the Knights, coupled with a couple of really clutch baskets from Coleman and Bryant, seal the deal, and the Tennessee Heat end up with a win. But man, this was a competitive game down to the end, even though there were times in this game where Tennessee extended their lead pretty deep. I think they led by 20 at one point. And give credit to Montgomery, Paul. They never quit. They battled back, and they made this one hell of a finish.
Yeah, agree with you on all points, Gary. I mean, it was a up and down game in the first half. The Heat were shooting lights out. The Montgomery Knights were trying to be in a shootout competition with them, which they were losing. Then they came out in the third quarter and attacked the basket, got to the free throw line. Unfortunately, didn't make enough free throws. But the game was up and down. It's a good lesson for both teams. For the Heat, it tells them you never have a game secured, even though you're up 20 points. If you don't execute all the way till the end, it's going to turn into a game where we're not fortunate, but a little bit more of a heart pressure on the head coach to win that game. And if you're the Montgomery Knights, you're happy that your team didn't give up. They had heart. They came back. But you also have to tell them that we need to play our game and do what it takes to win for a longer period of time. It was a 40-minute game, and we played our game for about 25 of those minutes, and we ended up losing. If we play our game for 35 minutes, we will win games like that. So, great game, great finish, and good learning opportunities for both teams and both coaches.
All right, it's time now for the moment we've all been waiting for. We got the Mr. Awards.
So for those of you out there, the Mr. Awards are our MVP, and it started with Mr. Mooney in the first game because he was a man. He was a man underneath and had a great game. So rather than player of the game, we have Mr. of the game. And, for the Heat, obviously, Devin Pitts just lights out in the first half, just shooting. In the second half, he actually didn't play as many minutes, and that's how I think the Montgomery Knights came back a little bit. But he still played an all-around great game and just a very good score, very smart, very solid. And then for me, it's Ty Bryant on the Heat, who is a knockdown shooter.
Oh, is he ever?
Coaches love knockdown shooters like that. And even at the end, he took it to the basket a couple times, which was impressive. So those two for the Heat. And then so that's Mr. Pitts and Mr. Bryant to everybody out there.
That's right.
And then for the Montgomery Knights, David McKinney had another very good game. And in the first game we did, he had a good game. So I would say Mr. McKinney on the Montgomery Knights side.
There we go. I'm with you on two of the three, Paul. My misters belong to Pitts and Bryant as well for the Heat. I thought both Ford and Coleman provided some key plays in this game as well, but I agree with you on those two. I'm going to differ with you a little bit on the third one for Montgomery. I thought that throughout the game, the guy that really made this engine go offensively was Washington Thomas. He did miss some key plays down the stretch, but he made a bunch too. He really was the catalyst of this offense on the point guard, from the point guard position. So I'm going to give my third Mr. Award to Washington Thomas, but I agree with you on the other two. Pitts and Bryant were just knocked down today, money shooters, and that was the key to this win.
Yeah, I agree. And Washington Thomas was right in the running there, but I think I cheated last year and had 4 when I should have 3, so I didn't go with him.
Yeah, there you go. That's fair. I mean, hey, you know what? You can't please everybody. That's right. Well, good game today, Paul. Once again, final score 99-93. Tennessee narrowly escapes and beats the Montgomery Knights. We will see you again next week here on PBA TV for the PBA Game of the Week. For Paul McKeskey and our entire crew, I'm Gary Ade saying so long. We'll see you next week here on PBA TV.
This presentation of the Pro Basketball Association is presented by our sponsors. Benitez International Academy. Reach higher, no limits. With Benitez International Academy. Wilson Sporting Goods, the official basketball of the PBA. And Grip Spritz. Court traction is important. No licking, just sticking. With Grip Spritz.